Hey everyone, it is time for my Christmas Buy It Now sale. I have gotten a bunch of cool stuff at some really good prices, and I hope you guys appreciate them. I know things are going to sell fast. Sorry about that. People ask, why don't I just put them up on eBay? And well, if I put them up on eBay, that means that it sells for the going rate, and I have no control over the price. And I would much rather sell these to you guys at a good price. I want to make sure you guys are getting a deal. I just don't want the person with the most money in their pocket to get the note. If that's the case, you can buy any note. You don't need to necessarily buy mine. So that's why I go through the effort of doing this, because I can guarantee that it's going to sell for a good price. All right, so what are we doing? I am going through 10 items on my Buy It Now sale. And if you're interested in buying them, what you have to do is when I list an item, you simply leave a comment down below. You will comment the item number that you want and whatever price that I have on there. So if I said item number one is $600, then you would write Buy It Now number one, $600. That way I know what item you want and I know that you know what the price is. How do you pay? That's the next big thing. Well, a couple ways. I got my list here. I accept Zelle and PayPal. You can go to Stuplubak at msn.com for that. That is the address you use for these. I accept Cash App as well. That's $Stuplubak. Or you can do check or money order and send that to P.O. Box 171, Russell, Illinois 60075. That is how you can pay. When you are the first person there, I will reply to your comment and let you know that you won. And then I will ask that you include a shipping address with your payment. You can always send me an email letting me know what the shipping address is so I can get everything ready. And yeah, that's about it. As far as shipping goes, I pay for shipping. I only ship to the continental U.S. I do not ship worldwide. So if you are outside the U.S., sorry, I can't afford shipping up all that stuff. And no, charging you extra isn't fair because that defeats the whole purpose, like I said, of me selling these at these prices. So sorry, for US customers only. All right. What else? I'm also going to have a number of items up on eBay, and those are already up there as this video is going live. And you can bid on those up until next Monday. I listed them Monday night, started them for $1, and whatever they sell for on eBay, they sell for. So you do have a chance at bidding on some of those. All right, ready? Let's get started. Item number one. This is from 1864. It's a February 17th, 1864 CSA. It's a $100 note. This one features Lucy Pickens. This one is the Type 65. T65 is this particular one. It does have a slight split. The split does not go all the way through. Features Lucy Pickens there. And yeah, like I said, it's not perfect, but it is a pretty cool example. And the ones of these that are in good shape are selling close to face value. In fact, a grade 8 for this note sells for $50. A 12 sells for 75. A 20 sells for 125 already. So yeah, if they're in nicer shape, you're going to get a lot more than face value. It does have some staining on there. It's kind of neat on the back. It almost looks like fake money, but that's just the design that they used on that particular one. So the T65, like I said, on an 8, it books out at 50. In a 20, it's $125. My price includes shipping. Keep in mind, I have to pay between $6 and $7 to ship these. Still, if you're interested in this one, I'm going to let it go for that $50 price. So you can have item number one, the Lucy Pickens Type 65, for $50. Number two. A lot of people love getting these. These are the 1975 Canadian $50 notes. Very cool to see all the different colors used in the crest, all the fine color work that's here, the scrolling, the multiple layers of color in the back. You've got red and blue for the serial numbers. Oh yeah, and there's this little image on the back of the Canadian Mounties in circle formation like that. Very, very cool note. This particular one happens to be circulated. I will show the back because it's where you can see everything. Hard crease there. Little bit of dirt. I paid too much for this. I wanted to make sure I had one for my auction because I know how much you guys like this. But yeah, I probably paid a little too much for this one, but that's fine. I'll take the hit. I just wanted to have it because I know you guys like it too. These little circles here, those are actually security marks. That isn't dirt. But yeah, if you're interested in the $50 Canadian note from 1975, I'm going to let this one go for, we're going to do item number 2, $70. 70 bucks and it's yours. Once again, includes shipping. Pretty cool note. That's number 2. Number 3, I have a pair of notes. This is another CSA, Confederate States of America note. This is a $1 note. This one is the Type 44, if I remember right. Let me just make sure. Yep, Type 44. And this one, when they brought to the printer said, you should put something on there to make it a little harder to counterfeit. And they're like, no, this is what we want. Also features Lucy Pickens on there. You can see here from June 2nd, 1862. Note is hand signed. But the printer said, you should put something else on here. You should do some type of overprint. And they're like, no, we don't want that. Well, the printer printed the notes as they wanted, but then did do a batch with the green overprint. These are fairly rare. This one, the common one, they were hand cut, so that's not unusual to see a cut like that. It is hand signed, and you can see it is numbered here, but the number is pretty well faded. Looking at the back of this note, there's an idea of condition. It does have a number of foxholes. That's when little bugs will do it. I don't want to call them pinholes because they weren't made by a pin. It's just very tough to see, but if you hold it up to the light, you'll notice them. Same thing with this one. This note here with the green overprint also has some foxholes in it. Looking at the back, you can get a better idea of the condition of the note. But what are these worth? That's the thing. Well, the original, the front one here, in a grade 8 starts at 45, in a 12 it's $80, and in a 20 it's 125. I don't think this one's in the greatest of shape, especially with the foxholing. Dead center looks like there's a paper pull there. But this one with the green overprint, in a grade 8 starts at 75, in a 12 it's 225, and if this was a 20 it would grade out at $550. I'm going to give you the pair of notes. You're going to get both of these, the regular and the green overprint. My price on the pair, let's see, even in a grade 8, you're talking $45 and $75 each. My price for the pair, $110 and you get the pair. That one is number 3. Number 4, I have an older 50. This is pretty cool. Let me get my sheet here. This one is FR 1880B. It's a $50 Federal Reserve Bank note. This particular one happens to be from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, 1929, series 1929, printed on national currency stock. This was kind of emergency currency due to the Great Depression, so they wanted to get these out there. So the Federal Reserve Bank of New York made this particular $50 note. Older 50s are just really cool to start with, and also they're a little on the rare side. 50s are harder to get a hold of because they were denominations that even to this day we don't use very often. You'll get the biggest denomination you can when you wanted to carry a bunch of cash. That would be hundreds. But even today, when you break 100, you usually break it for 20s, not 50s. All right, so looking at the back, it does have a little bit on here on the top. It's not perfect. The corner is not razor sharp. It does show a little bit of circulation. Looks like a light fold here, not a hard crease. A little bit of a fold here, a little bit of discoloration here. But overall, a really cool example of what it is, which is a Federal Reserve banknote from 1929. Now, this books out, let's see, in a grade 8, it's $110. In a grade 12, it's $120. And in a grade 20, books out at $150. I'm sure this is easily a 20, maybe a 25 in this condition, maybe even a 30. I don't see any hard creases. The center crease is about it. So yeah, those are all well in the range. Like I said, at a 20, it books out at $150. My price, if you're interested in this, you can have it for 125 bucks. 125 on the Federal Reserve 50, Federal Reserve Banknote 50, FRBN. Number 6. I overpaid for this note. I know I overpaid for this note, but I wanted to get one just to have in the sale. So I will tell you up front, my price is going to be less, or your price is going to be less than my price was. I'm losing money on this, but that's on me. That's not on you guys. I have a 1966 $100 legal tender, a $100 red seal. This was the government's way of trying to suck up all of the $1, $2, and $5 red seals. So instead of reprinting all of the ones that had to be taken out of circulation, they just printed a larger denomination. And rather than releasing all of these back, they just sent them off to a bank and hoped that the bank would not circulate them. Some of them actually made it into circulation. There was only like 2 million of these printed or something like that, a ridiculously low number. So these are tough to get a hold of. And yeah, they are, in my opinion, very undervalued. This particular one does have a slight little tear right here. You can see it does have creases. Looking at the top, it has some stuff. There's ink smear here. I think this is also a slight tear right there. So not the greatest shape. You can see it does have a fold there. Crease here. Here we've got a crease. Looking at the back, it's a circulated note. But it's still a $100 note. It's still a $100 red seal. And if you don't have one, here's a good opportunity to get one, because people don't like to let go of these for cheap. The book on this, in a grade 8 is $140. In a grade 12 is $160. And in a grade 20, it's $185. This one's much better than a grade 8, that's for sure. I'm going to let this go for $150. $150, and it's yours. Remember, that price includes shipping. And yeah, I'm taking a hit on this because I bought it with some other stuff, and I thought, yeah, I can sell that to you guys if you were interested, but yeah, I'm not going to make any money on that. Just your opportunity to get one. All right, next up, I want to make sure I got them in the right order. This is actually pretty nice. This is a 1934A $20 Hawaii note, emergency currency from World War II. You can see there's a series of 1934A. And as we look at this note, it looks like there might be just a little bit of something here. But if I look over the rest of this note, there are very few creases, if any, in this bill. Right here, this looks like a crease in the paper, almost as if that crease was there prior to the note being printed. I checked that out a little closer, and that's the impression I get, that crease was there during the print process or shortly after the print process. It doesn't seem like a crease from circulation. It does have a folded corner right there. Looking at the back of the note, you can see the darkness, so it does have a little bit of dirt on it from circulation, but overall, it's actually pretty good. Just trying to see, it looks like there's a light fold right there. Yeah, overall, this is a great note. The $20 note, this particular one, the emergency currency from Hawaii, obviously has Hawaii on the back and the overprints on the front with the brown seal. In a grade 8, it's $75. In a 12, it's $95. In a 20, it's $200. This one has an error in the book. In a 40, it says 175, but I think that's a misprint, because if it's 200 in a 20, it's not going to be less in a 40. I think that was supposed to be 375. Either way, this note to me is well above a 20, maybe closer to that 40 range. Most likely a 30 without a problem. In a 20, it grades out, or it's $200 in a grade 20. My price, if you're interested in this note, $175, and that is a steal. $175 for the Hawaii $20 note. That is item number 6. Item number 7. This one's a tough one to show. You'll have to take my word for it. This is an uncut sheet of $1 notes. There are 50 notes on the sheet. It is uncut. If I try to open this up here, I don't want to damage them, because you can see, though, it is an uncut sheet of singles. If I go like this, I'm trying so hard not to do any damage to this. This uncut sheet is from 2017, and the serial numbers are kind of interesting because it starts at 8-9 rather than 9-6 or higher. You can see there 2017. But yeah, this is real money. If you were bored, you could cut this apart and spend all 50 of these notes as singles. But having the uncut sheet, of course, is much cooler. Most people will get these uncut sheets and they will frame them and hang them in their house. And yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with them. If you are interested in the uncut sheet, I see that it's not going back in there right. I'm not going to mess with it. I'll put it back in properly. If you're interested in the uncut sheet, these can sell for over $200, especially when there's 50 notes on there. The 32 specimen sheets tended to sell for the 150 to 180 range. This is also going to be expensive to ship, so I got to keep all that in mind. If you are interested in the uncut sheet of 2017 singles, the price on this is going to be $175. $175 for the uncut sheet. There, now it's back in there. All right, so I'll put that there. That uncut sheet is number 7. Number 8. This is my $10 1922 gold certificate, FR 1173. This one was graded by PCGS, and it came out with a grade very fine 25. We can look over the note real close if you like. The note does have a slight yellowing in color. All that was taken into consideration in the grading process. You can see a hard fold this way, and let's go over the bottom. You can see a little bit of a creasing here, but like I said, all of this was taken into consideration with the graders, and they determined this to have a value or a grade of 25. Here's the back. You can see there. This is more dirt than creasing, but we'll bring it up anyway so you can see it. The cool goldfish orange on the back. The nice thing about getting a note that's graded is you don't have to debate it. The grading company counted all the creases and folds, and they determined that that's what it is. They put it in the protective sleeve. So now the only negotiating is on price. You don't have to negotiate the grade. You have a starting point. When it comes to the grade, let me see what my notes say here. Here we go. Oh, I got to move this cap out of the way there. All right. This is item number 8. And in a grade 8, this is $175. In a 12, it's $200. In a 20, this books out at $325. In a 20, $325. In a 40, it's $750. All right, so you're talking a 20 is $325, a 40 is $750. It's a 25, so the price is somewhere between that $325 and $750 here. At least that's the value of a note for a 25. My price on this, if you're interested in item number 8, the gold $10 gold certificate, you can have this for $299. $299, and this is yours. That's less than the price of a 20, and it includes shipping. That is number 8. Number 9. I have my $5 brownback, $5 national currency. This is from I believe this is 1882. The $5 brownback, called so because of all the brown ink used on the back. You have the charter number real big. On this side, you've got the eagle. You've got the fine lines here. And you've got, this one is the vignette for New York. Each territory or state had their own vignette here. Now, this particular one, it is a little bit limp, but everything on it is pretty clear. So this would probably grade somewhere between an 8 and a 10. It's neat having the charter number 394, and then the 394 being incorporated in the design here and here, all over it like that. People ask, why does it have 2 different serial numbers? And that's because this is the serial number from this particular bank, and this is the serial number from the entire print run. This one is from the American Exchange National Bank of New York City. It is one of the top 100 notes to collect. And once again, it is the brownback. The paper itself is a little bit thin, but overall a great example of it. Probably a solid 8. According to the book, In an 8, this is $450. In a 12, it's $500, and if it's a 20, it's about $800. If you are interested in this, I'm not going to ask that 8 price. The 8 price was $450. If you are interested in this, we're going to go number 9, the brownback. My price for you guys, $349. $349, and it's yours. That's $100 under the 8 price, and it includes shipping. That's number 9. Number 10. Here it is. This is my $2 1862 legal tender, graded by PMG. They gave it a 15 net, choice fine. The net, according to the back, says it's repaired, and if I look, I think the repair might be here. This might be a little bit of glue there, or it might be here, or it might be both. But in all honesty, I think the repair is that this note was cleaned and pressed, because this note is beautiful. Looking at it, you can see it does have a centerfold right here, but that centerfold is not very dark at all through the picture. It does come right along this image right here, which makes it very difficult to spot, giving this note incredible eye appeal. The note itself is yellowed a little bit, as if it was in a room where people were smoking for some time. Let's take a look at the back, because the back of the note is where you always look when you want to see all kinds of damage and stuff. It just shows up better on the back. We're not really seeing it. It's got a hard crease here, it looks like. But yeah, this note, the eye appeal on this note is just killer. I bought this note for myself. This was going to be the note that I kept in my collection. And then I recently stumbled across one that I got an incredible deal on. So I'm going to let you guys have this one. The serial number on this is a fun one. It's almost a radar, 19890. If the last digit was a 1, that would make it a radar. So no additional value from that. But yeah, the 1862 $2 legal tender, just an incredible note. This one in amazing shape. I think it's heavily undergraded. If I put my thumb over the net and said this is a 15, you guys would say, no, that's a 25 or a 30. But yeah, the net is supposed to take into consideration whatever the damages are. So without the net, would you still call that a 15? I wouldn't. Anyway, this note is FR41, and the $2 legal tender, if this was a grade 8, would be $475. In a grade 12, this would be $775. And, well, this one isn't a 12, it's a 15. In a 20, this is $1,350, $1,350. Okay, so let's just go through those last two again. In a 12, this is $775. And in a 15, in a 20, it's $1,350. So $775 to $1,350. That's the price range that encompasses a 15. Yes, I know this one's a net, so you can do what you want with that. Beautiful eye appeal on this. What am I going to ask for this note? The FR41 $2 legal tender, item number 10, you can have it for $649. That's $125 below that 12 price, and this one's a 15. So yeah, $649, and this one is yours. So that's the end of the buy it now stuff. I am going to put some stuff on eBay, and I want to just go through those real quick. My eBay name is the same as it is on here, Stuplubak Currency, and let's run through these. There's only going to be 4 of them, and they're all going to start at $1. So let's knock them out. I picked up this note because I thought it was going to be much darker than what it was. This is an offset print error. When I hold it like this, you can hardly see it, and that's true. You can barely see this. But if I zoom in, you can see right here, you can see George's face, and in the border, you can see the offset print. This is not bleed through. What happened here was they started the printer before the paper was put in. So the print was put onto the back plate, then the paper was put in, then they printed this, and when they printed this side, the ink that was on the back plate got pressed to the back of this page. And the first few prints of that are going to be very dark. But eventually, all the ink on that back plate starts to dry up and wear off. So this is a note where the image is extremely faint. Now, if this was a full uh, offset print, a dark one that was easy to see. This could easily be worth $150, $200, maybe $300, depending on condition of the bill. But it's not. It is just barely visible, which makes it kind of neat. Worth a whole lot? No, not at all. So I'm just going to throw this up on eBay. I mean, I paid like, 25, $30 for this or something like that. But I thought the image was going to be a little darker. So I'm going to put it up on eBay, and whatever you guys want to pay for it, you can pay for it. Just remember, on eBay, I do have to charge $6.99 shipping because I don't know who's actually buying the stuff. If it's one of you guys, that'd be great, but I can't guarantee it, so I have to make sure that I cover my shipping costs on eBay. So yeah, this one is going to be up on eBay, the minor offset printing error. All right, number 2 on eBay, I have a fractional currency. This one's a 25-cent fractional from the first series. First series fractionals were actually known as postage currency, or postal currency. This one actually says postage currency on it. The 5-cent version featured Thomas Jefferson and a 5-cent stamp, and with the 25-cent version, they just put 5 images of that 5-cent stamp on there to make it worth $25. This particular one, like I said, it's first issue, or the first from the first series, which makes these kind of cool. Checking the back of this one, the back is actually much nicer than the front. That's kind of unfortunate, but what are you going to do? This book's out. Let me see what I got here. Find the right cheat sheet. The fractional currency in a grade 8, this book's at $30. In a 12, it's 40, and in a 20, it's 50. I'm starting at $1. You guys do what you want with it. For the, do I have the FR? Yeah, I think it's FR 1281. If you want to look it up yourself. So between $30 and $50 is the book on this one. I'm starting at $1. You guys have fun with it. The third one is another fractional. This one is my Stanton. 50-cent fractional Stanton. I want to say this is the 4th issue. This particular note is the one that came after the 50-cent issue with Lincoln on it. Stanton, the greatest beard on currency. The 50-cent fractional, this one is one of the more rare ones. However, this one does have issues on the back. The front of it's pretty neat. Overall, it's all right. The back, though, you can see it's got, I don't know if that was glued on something or what. It looks like a reverse paper pull, like whatever it was mounted on is still there. In a grade 8, this book's out at $75. In a 12, it's $90, and in a 20, it's $110. I understand there's issues with it. I'm starting it at $1. Whatever you guys want to pay for it, that's what you're going to pay. And finally, on eBay, I have a pair of notes. These are 1954 Canadian $5 notes. This one here is actually in pretty good shape. Not crisp, uncirculated by any stretch of the imagination. If I look at the back of the note, there's the image on the back, but if I zoom in, you can see it does have a fold here. Yeah, so it's not crisp, uncirculated, fold here. But what makes these cool is the 54 series was the first series to feature Queen Elizabeth. And in the very first edition of these, there was a weird image in her hair. It actually looked like the face of the devil. You can see the nose, the horns up here, the mouth. And when they discovered that, they modified the image and put out the new image that you could no longer see that in. So these became worth some money. Everybody was hunting out the devil's head. So I have the $5 devil's head and the $5 modified. The devil's head is clearly circulated. You can see it's got creases, folds, and dirt, but this is the one that everybody is after. And I'm almost just throwing in the $5 regular issue so you can compare it yourself. I wish it was as nice as this one, but this is the one that everybody is after. And let me show you the back of this one just so you can see, once again, the back of almost any note shows the condition so much better than the front. So yeah, you're aware of all the creases and folds in this, but once again, you're buying it for the devil's head and you're getting the modified to go with it. I'm going to start it at $1 on eBay and I'm going to let it go from there. So you guys get to decide what the price is going to be. All right, that's my Christmas auction, or I say auction, Christmas buy it now sale and auction, I guess. There's eBay stuff. So good luck, and I'll be in touch with some of you guys real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.